Hey friends, just a quick video today. I thought I would give you an early spring tour of my little mini homestead. We have a little backyard homestead here in the city. I live in Florida. I'm gonna show you what we have growing and going on in early spring. If you're new here, I'm Peggy. I'm a Christian, a wife, a homeschooling, homemaking mom to 7 children. And on my channel, you'll find videos about homemaking, homeschooling, and family discipleship. Okay, I'm gonna show you my whole backyard. And it's not perfect, it's not Pinterest worthy, but we have a lot of things going on, a lot of things growing that I'm really excited about. And I'll probably do an update in June or July when everything will really be growing well and blooming, and it'll be even more beautiful. But I'll show you what we've got going on for today. So we'll start here with the girls. This is our flock of chickens. Let's see if we can get better. We have 6 chickens. We have a limit in our city of how many we're allowed to have on our property. So that's why we don't have more, otherwise I would. So we have them in a chicken tractor right now that we can move around our yard, and that's what we've been doing for a while. But on the back side here, we're gonna be creating a chicken run, and we're gonna make this coop a little more stationary. There was a time when we were letting the chickens out and free ranging all over the yard, but now that we have a lot of garden planted out, we don't want them getting into that. So we're gonna make this now a stationary coop with a nice large chicken run for them so that they can still be happy and healthy chickens. So we got most of our chickens from a local farm that we absolutely love that hatches lots of different fun breeds. And that's been a really fun family trip for us to go to. Sometimes head out to the farm and get a new chicken. And then we have some that were given to us by a friend. And we love the chickens. The kids love the chickens. It's been a lot of fun. We're currently getting about 4 eggs every day. Some days a little bit more, some days a little bit less, but that's the average. And that has been right on point for our family. Okay, so on this side of the yard, there are these containers with lots of flowers planted out. So hopefully by June, all of those will be blooming and beautiful. Really excited about that. This is just some of the mini flowers that I have planted. Right here on our fence line is a big blackberry bush that's been here for years, and it was flowering earlier, so it should be giving us some blackberries really soon. Here are 4 dragon fruit cacti that we have that were given to us, and we are working on what we need to do to put them up on posts and get them growing how they want to. They've already grown a lot, and they'll be growing upwards and trying to climb, and we have to get some posts in the ground and get those in the ground so that they can really take off. So there's been so much new growth on those. Excited about that. And these are our blueberry bushes. They're doing so much better this year since I fertilized them with an organic fertilizer. I'll show you some of the little blooms here. So that's been going really well. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of blueberries. Then we've got some ginger here and some Indian mint. And that brings us to my little herb box with rosemary and a lot of sage, some dill back there. We've got some basil starting to come in. I have this burlap over my strawberries because we've had some squirrels getting into the strawberries. I planted some flowers along here to help with pests. These are nasturtiums. And here's some more of the strawberries. We just have had squirrels getting a hold of them once they get ripe, and we would like to enjoy our strawberries. So we're working on basically a giant cloche to go over this to help keep the squirrels out of it. So that's the plan, to deal with that. This over here is the tater patch. So both of these 2 rows here are all Yukon Gold potatoes. I have a 3rd row planted out for a succession, and they are doing beautifully. I always have a lot of success with growing potatoes. They don't mind our sandy soil, so that always goes really well. I've planted a lot more this year than ever before, so hoping that will work out well. Hopefully I'll be able to store them, or I might be giving away a lot of potatoes, which is fine. Next, here we have lots of sunflowers that are all coming up and looking good. Lots of sunflowers lining the tater patch. There's another back here. So we should have quite a few sunflowers. Right here we have a volunteer batch of tomatoes. So these were, I'm guessing, Roma tomatoes that I had planted last year that were further back closer to the fence, and just a bunch of them have come up right here for whatever reason. So we're trying to, I put a cage there to mark them, and hopefully those will do well and we'll have a lot more tomatoes. So that would be awesome. Then over here we have my 4 raised beds, and these are new. So in this one, this is the first one I planted out. So I'm learning, this is my probably 3rd serious year gardening, but 5th year in general. So we've got lots of tomatoes here. I have 3 different kinds. I tried to organize them, but they may have gotten mixed up, and that's okay. And then I've got some marigolds and some nasturtium and some cosmos, a couple other flowers kind of planted along here just to help with pests. And then this is more tomatoes. And then here I've got 3 jalapeno peppers. And then I had planted out some Charleston Bell, which are red peppers, but I learned that I don't want those near my jalapenos or they're going to become spicy. So I have to figure that out, but these have not been doing super well. They're still tiny, and they were planted at the same time as the tomatoes and all that are doing well, so I'm not sure that those are gonna work out, and that's okay. I can pull them up and put something else in here, and then I'll probably put some other peppers somewhere else that they're not close to the jalapenos. Here are these big, beautiful pole beans. So we've got those going on. These are the Aunt Bee's pole beans from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. Those are doing awesome. Andy put these T-posts in for me so that I can have a trellis so that these pole beans can climb up the trellis and they'll go over and around into this side. So we're just waiting on the cattle panel to put those up. And so this side I planted out with pole beans also, but they haven't come up yet. I planted them much later than the ones that are already up. So we'll get that cattle panel up, and then we'll have a big trellis for them to climb on. Should be a lot of fun for the kids too. So in this bed, it's just dirt, so it's not fun to look at, or it's soil, but it's the pole beans, and then I have some lima beans here. And then I have zucchini on this side. And then here I've got some more flowers in these 2 pots. So nothing fun to look at yet, but it will be once they get started. This is the other one that looks boring right now, but there's yellow squash back here. There's some bush beans here. Then I put some flowers through here, some cosmos, and some more bush green beans. Then here I've got more flowers and more flowers. lots of marigolds and nasturtium and some wildflowers also. And then this bed is kind of, you know, part of the learning experience, but in Florida, our spring just gets hot really, really fast. So I have some cold weather vegetables in here that may not work out, and I thought I was planting them early enough in January to start the seeds and all, especially here with the broccoli, but it may not work out, and that's okay. So these are all broccoli, and then these are carrots. The carrots might be okay. I picked a variety that's supposed to be okay with the heat, but we'll see how that goes. Some nasturtium coming up back there. And then over on this end, we have all of my onions, and hopefully those will be working out. I grew these from seed, so I'm hoping that they're gonna bulb, but also it's getting hot, so who knows. So we'll see what happens. There's learning curves, you know, to gardening in general, and gardening in Florida has its own rules. So I'm learning that, and we'll see how all of that goes. So over here, this is our calamundan tree. It does great every year. It gives us lots of fruit. They're pretty sour if you've never had those, but it's a fun thing that we always get to harvest off of. Back here in this corner, remember I have 7 children, so there's gonna be toys, but I'm trying to grow some corn. You can see some corn stalks coming in back here in this corner, and we'll see how that goes. Some of it came up. And then right here, there's another little patch of volunteer tomatoes, and I marked it with a cage again. So we'll see how that goes. And then there's a little bit more of those volunteer tomatoes over here. And then I'm gonna show you my little citrus orchard. So this is my little citrus orchard. This one is doing the worst, but I planted a lot of ponderosa lemon seeds, and I had no idea how it would go. You can see that guy. And then all of these, I had no idea that it would actually work out well. So that one's the smallest. This one is doing really well. We just got these planted in the ground, and they're doing well. They're starting to bloom, which is pretty exciting. Here's this one. These are all ponderosa lemons. This one. This one is blooming the most, so I was going to show you that. There's a beautiful lemon blossom. Very exciting. So these are all lemon trees that I grew from seed, not knowing how they would do. So we have some still in pots that we will probably give away, but we put 4 in the ground. So we'll bless this property with those trees, give away the others. Hopefully we'll be moving at some point to a little more land, and I can always try to grow some more at that time. Then this is our loquat tree, also known as a Japanese plum. This was given to us, and it's grown a whole lot. I'm gonna find a place on this property, probably in the front, to plant it. The leaves are so beautiful on this tree. It gets really nice and big and just looks gorgeous. And it has little orange loquats, little plums, and it's really such a beautiful tree. And so we'll put that somewhere in the front, and it'll just stay here. And then on the side, this side of the house, we have some projects going on, but this is our orange tree. I'm not sure what kind of oranges, but we just got a ton of them. I think we harvested all we could, and they were really sweet and delicious. I'm not sure if it's Valencia or there's another kind that started with an S that I can't remember now, that it might be. I know they're not navels, so they were really sweet, kind of a light colored orange, and that tree is doing much better than it was in the past. So that's our orange tree. So we have a whole little citrus grove going on here. And then over here I've got a little bit of lettuce that is barely sprouting, but I should have planted it out much earlier. I have a couple little sprouts, but that's probably not gonna happen too much. It's just too hot now. It's in the 70s and 80s pretty much every day, so not the best for lettuce, but that's all right. So then we'll go past the patio here and around, and I'll show you over here. This is a volunteer sunflower that I didn't plant there, but it's in a nice sunny spot. So we've had other projects going on over here. These are some wildflowers that I planted out. Those are sprouting and starting to come up, so excited to see what those are going to look like. This bed, last year I had some squash and zucchini here, and the sun was just too harsh for it. It just gets way too much sun. This is the south side of the house, and it's just a little skinny spot, but I am going to use this for sweet potatoes this year. So that's the plan, is to do sweet potatoes because they can handle the sun. And then right here, this little bush is a lantana, and it was a volunteer also. I think it seeded from my neighbor's yard, but it's growing on our little gate here, and the flowers are so cute and pretty, little pink and yellow flowers right by the gate. It's like perfect little garden entrance. So we kept it, and it's pretty, and this is a native to Florida flower, so I thought that was fun. We'll keep that one. I forgot my little watermelon bed. That's what this is. I've planted out some sugar baby watermelons. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully those will be coming up. That's my newest bed, and that's everything. That's our whole little backyard homestead. It's not huge, but it's been a lot of fun, and we're growing some food for our family. All the kids are enjoying all the gardening and the chickens and everything also. We'll be getting rid of the trampoline soon. So just having a lot of fun doing this, growing food, learning to preserve these things, seeing what we can do. Andy just got home with the trellis. He went straight after work and picked it up. So very exciting. Trellis is going up tonight. Thanks for coming along on this mini homestead tour. On my channel, you can find videos on homemaking, homeschooling, and family discipleship. I'll link some of my playlists so you can check those out. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.